Thank you for investing your money and time in this DVD. I am positive that it will provide you with information which will revolutionise the way you perceive your condition and make you realise that your condition isn't what you thought it was. Hi, my name is Charles Linden. First of all, you'll have noticed that some of the menu items at the start of this DVD are in red and others are in blue. Those in red are instructional sections, meaning that you should revisit those sections as often as you wish in order to get tips and tricks and techniques that will help undermine your anxiety condition. Those sections marked on the menu in blue are informational. Whilst important, the blue sections are there to inform you rather than advise you on specific techniques. The most effective way to use this DVD is to first watch this whole programme through in its entirety, digest what you've learned, over a day or two perhaps, then revisit the DVD by navigating to the chapter of choice using the main menu. The red sections are the most important sections to revisit, understand and implement. These will give you instructions on how best to start on your path to complete anxiety reduction. The Linden Method Anxiety Elimination Media, like the DVD you're now watching, is all based on my personal experience of anxiety over 2 decades, together with vast amounts of research and experience helping tens of thousands of people eliminate their anxiety using the solution I discovered a decade ago. The DVD you're now watching is one of a group of DVDs. The group addresses each of the so-called anxiety disorders, one for generalized anxiety disorder, one for panic disorder, one for obsessive compulsive disorder, and one for phobias. I say so-called because with inappropriate anxiety being the core cause of your condition, obsessive compulsive disorder, panic and phobias are symptoms of your condition and not standalone conditions. Without the underlying anxiety, these conditions cannot exist. I also use the word disorder with caution. It's a word I don't use lightly at all. Why? Because the word disorder suggests illness. Neither you or any other person who suffers from inappropriate anxiety is ill, neither physically or mentally. You have a behavioural condition, a subconscious anxious condition caused and perpetuated by habit. Yes, your anxiety and every symptom, thought and sensation it presents in you is caused by habit, learned behaviour, deep in your subconscious mind. But there's something simple and targeted you can do to reverse this habit. Remove the inappropriate anxiety and these disorders fade away. Fact. I've seen it work so many times now. The Linden Method is a program of recovery which provides a structured anxiety elimination method which has been implemented by tens of thousands of anxiety sufferers worldwide. A solution so simple to use and it slips into your daily routine unnoticed. These DVDs are designed to inform you on how you can start to understand your condition fully, in the correct context, and therefore begin to remove the fear of your symptoms which perpetuates your condition. When you reach that point, you will see that by removing the fear of fear, you disable the core of your condition. Do you experience physical anxiety symptoms like any of these? Panic attacks, stress, depression, mood swings, racing heart or pains, headache, palpitations, anxiety symptoms, breathlessness, sweats, indigestion, anxiety stomach and nausea, fatigue, dizziness, anxiety-related insomnia, nervousness, difficulty swallowing, and other anxiety or panic attack symptoms. Are the physiological and emotional anxiety symptoms even less bearable? Anxiety of impending doom, dreaminess, anxiety about illness, anxiety about medical or dental procedures, anxiety about death, depression, agoraphobia or social anxiety, stress, confusion, sudden panic attacks or anxiety, irritability, feelings of going mad, bad moods, feeling alone, or disturbing dreams or thoughts. Like most anxiety and panic attack sufferers, you're probably feeling lost, desperate, and more scared than ever before. Whether you experience panic attacks, obsessive compulsive disorder, agoraphobia or any phobia, post-traumatic stress disorder, social anxiety or generalised anxiety, I assure you that by understanding the advice presented in this programme, you'll be able to see that your anxiety is not at all what you think it is, and that you can disarm it completely, and that you will reclaim your life. Before you watch this DVD, I want you to know that I'm not academic, at least not in psychology. I've never professed to be. I don't hold a string of medical qualifications, and of that I'm glad. Medical qualifications mean that the practitioner is, on the whole, restrained by the discoveries and solutions of other people, and that these solutions are restricted by the structure of prescriptive and psychological practices, such as psychology sessions, prescription medicine, or psychiatry. I won't and don't advocate the use of drugs, and my solution is far removed from psychological practices. It's simpler and much, much faster, if done correctly. I know what it feels like to be robbed of potential. I know what it feels like to be scared all the time. And I know what it feels like to live in hope that one day I'll be free of my anxiety and all of its devastating symptoms. Unlike most experts, I'm an authority on anxiety partly because of the years I spent sharing my life with it, actually over a quarter of a century. This picture was taken during my anxiety and panic disorder years. I suffered massive panic attacks, about 10 a day, as well as acute generalised anxiety disorder and severe and crippling phobias, agoraphobia and social anxiety disorder. I also experienced depersonalisation, derealisation and frightening feelings of sadness and depression. Anxiety and panic attacks ruled my life. So I know what you're going through. There isn't a single physical sensation, not a symptom, not an emotion, that I haven't experienced during these years. There seemed to be no hope of recovery for me. I tried cognitive and alternative therapies, hypnosis, meditation, anxiety disorder diets, anxiety disorder groups, anxiety disorder medication, stress management and more, but nothing worked. Believe me when I tell you that I know exactly how you're feeling. I know that anxiety, obsession, panic attacks and phobias can be hell. But ultimately, some good has come of everything. Namely, it's given me the chance to develop my method, a method not based on prescription drugs or convoluted theory or the latest hype, but a method based on true life experience, reverse engineered from the solution and used by thousands of recovered sufferers. And it truly works. My wife persuaded me to write the Linden Method, and I'm so glad that she did. I became so sick of hearing the horror stories of how fellow anxiety and panic attack sufferers have been treated by medics. But now there's hope. Let me prove it to you, as I've done already tens of thousands of times worldwide. But what makes me so qualified? Well, as I've just said, I've been where you are right now, and through scientifically reverse engineering the solution, I've identified the cure and developed a structured program of recovery that has been used to eliminate anxiety disorders in tens of thousands of sufferers from across the world. I've heard every story. Trust me, there's nothing I haven't heard. From sensations to thoughts, I'd be shocked if there was something that I haven't come across. And today, here I am, a recovered anxiety, phobias and panic attack sufferer. So who is Charles Linden? I run a private practice treating anxiety disorders using the Linden Method. I'm married to Beth, the angel that tolerated me through a decade of anxiety, panic attacks and phobias, through all the irritability, confusion and depression. I have a son called Charlie and a daughter named Florence, the family I thought I would never have. And it's because of this gift, this second chance at enjoying a full and fulfilling life, that I want to share my method with you. Now you simply have to ask yourself what you want out of life. What do you want to achieve? Where do you want to be in 4 weeks from now, 12 weeks, 12 months? Determine what you want, all that you want to stop, and all that you want to start. And then believe that you have the ability to stop your condition in its tracks. Start your life afresh with a blank sheet, without worrying about lost time, but simply looking forward to what is yet to come. Stop self-obsessing about what's wrong with you. Start looking at all the positive and all that's good in your life. Stop feeling anxious, living your life in fear, and waking up with that feeling of dread. Start looking forward and making plans for your future. Stop feeling physically drained. Start to feel strong in body and mind, as though you're 10 years younger. Stop living defensively frightened of putting your head above the parapet, and start enjoying life again. So as you see, this programme is called Conquering Anxiety and Panic Attacks with Charles Linden. Why is it called this? Well, firstly, I'm Charles Linden, and secondly, I can tell you exactly what you need to do to eliminate every morsel of inappropriate anxiety that you experience. Anxiety should be an integral part of our normal lives, protecting us when confronted with real danger. But sometimes the thermostat, which regulates anxiety levels in the body, becomes reset, creating constant anxiety. This constant anxious state can cause many symptoms, which cause us to become fearful, seek medical help, and retreat from society. I'm about to reveal to you the truth. I'll tell you why the anxiety disorder myth can be ignored and how, with specific targeted guidance, you can remove your inappropriate anxiety forever. Whatever form your inappropriate anxiety takes, the fact is you have what most people would call an anxiety disorder. Personally, I don't believe that inappropriate anxiety is a disorder. The word disorder suggests illness. You're not ill. Your anxiety has become reset at a higher than normal level, in the same way that you might exercise in order to make your body tolerate more exercise. Many anxiety sufferers experience what is called comorbidity. In other words, 2 or more anxiety disorders simultaneously. They may experience GAD with phobias, panic attacks or compulsions, for example. In fact, this is quite normal. As there are no lines of separation between the disorders, the anxiety spectrum is wide, stretching from mild shyness to extreme panic. And it doesn't matter where you fall on that spectrum, you have inappropriate anxiety that requires removal. The symptoms of anxiety vary in severity from one individual to another and can come and go at different times, both day and night. In fact, many of my clients have told me that they wake up panicking or feel like they have panicked during their sleep when they wake in the morning. I had nighttime panic, or sleep panic as I call it. It leaves you feeling tired, achy and shaky, and it happens at a time when conscious thoughts should be switched off. It just shows that the subconscious mind can create anxiety even when you're asleep. This proves 100% that your anxiety is programmed into your subconscious, and it will happen whether you think about it or not, until you understand what it is and how to disarm it. The symptoms vary in severity from one individual to another and can come and go at different times, day and night. The most common physical symptoms include feeling like you're constantly fluey, weak, dizzy, sweaty, clammy and achy. You may have palpitations, a churning stomach and a sense of being smothered. You may suffer with general fatigue, muscle aches such as chest pain, headaches, tightness, tingling and numbness. And you may also experience mental distress with depression, mood swings or disturbing thoughts, even of a violent or sexual nature. You may well worry about your health and feel that you're suffering from life-threatening conditions, and you might also visit your general practitioner or other medical practitioners regularly in order to receive assurances about your health. All of this is the normal, expected behaviour of a person with anxiety disorder. It's the way each and every one of my clients behave, and that's tens of thousands of people from every walk of life, from every corner of the world. Many of these symptoms can be explained easily, but I prefer to call them sensations, not symptoms. The word symptom is used to describe what we experience during illness. Inappropriate anxiety isn't an illness, so we can't experience symptoms. That makes sense, doesn't it? Yes, you heard me correctly. Your anxiety condition is not a disorder, and it's not an illness. There is nothing medically wrong with you. Nothing which requires psychiatric or medicinal treatment. You have a behavioural condition, a condition caused not by the stress, bereavement or whatever the catalyst was for your initial anxiety, but by a learning process that has happened deep inside your physical brain. But more about that later. Now, the most important thing to remember is that no one has ever died of anxiety. So those chest pains are muscular or digestive. They are not a sign of a life-threatening heart condition. The thoughts you have aren't because you're slipping into insanity. Actually, it's quite the opposite. You have fine-tuned your creative mind so well that when it picks up an idea, it flies with it, taking your thoughts and inventing clever, sometimes disturbing, but highly imaginative scenarios. It's a completely normal process, but in anxiety disorders, it's accentuated. You can't die of anxiety. Why?